Hello, you beautiful, beautiful being. What is up? My name is Jeanette. You probably know that because you're following me. And I'm going to be talking with the beautiful Fruity Eva today. First of all, how are you doing? I want to know one thing that you're grateful for today. Post it in the comments below. I want to know one thing you're grateful for today. The reason why, let me get comfortable here. The reason why I want to know one thing you're grateful for is because that's the absolute best way to manifest. Did you know that, oh, Eva's here. Okay, let me just cut this short. But basically, if you want to manifest more abundance in your life, you've got to be aware of the abundance you already have. So what's one thing you're grateful for? Everyone? Deepak, Lance, oh, you're grateful for me. Of course you are. Sean, what's up? So we're going to go live with Fruity Eva. We're going to talk about the mucusless diet, healing system. We're going to talk about, I have lots of questions for her book. And we're going to get into it. My awesome running workout. Yes, you've got to be grateful in order to have more things to be grateful for. Because it's like whatever we focus on is what we are going to get more of. So what are you focused on? All right, let me get her in here before I just keep talking the whole time. Okay, here we go. I'm probably gonna have to adjust the camera once she joins. Hey girl, what's up? Okay, so what's one thing you're grateful for right now?
Actually, I'm super grateful to not be in Germany because the situation with this whole crisis is so bad. It is really, really bad. So, yeah, I'm on the Canary Islands and it's so much better. Like, very chill. So, yeah, I'm really grateful for that.
Honestly, I have always wanted to go to the Canary Islands. So I'm so happy you're there. I know it's beautiful. You know what's funny? I actually have a friend who just left the Canary Islands to go back to Germany. Isn't that crazy?
Whoa, it's crazy. I would not want to go back, but okay, maybe.
I'm
No, I don't know.
concerned, but I'm great. I'm really happy for you. And somebody's grateful for their psychic abilities. Ooh, listen, let me know the lotto numbers, girl, because I need those. Okay, psychic abilities. That's amazing. Okay, what's up, everybody? Thank you for being here. I just want to let you guys know before we get into the interview that I'm very grateful and honored to be part of something called the Vegan Foodie Bundle. So it's very different than the last bundle. The bundle that we just were in was called the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. That was 100% raw vegan, low fat. And this bundle is more for everyone. Okay, it's for everyone that wants to be healthy. Okay, you don't need to be raw to be healthy. In fact, that's what we're going to talk about today, something called the mucusless diet that we both got inspired by, because it doesn't demonize cooked food, right? There is some cooked food that makes you feel better than some raw food. Okay, we're going to get into that. And so the vegan foodie bundle is available. If you click the link in Eva's bio or my bio, you can check it out. It's only available until Monday. And Deepak said, I hear they're locking Spain, hopefully not Gran Canaries. Yeah, it's very horrible. What the world has gone to shit. And basically, we need to take care of ourselves
Yeah.
because we've got, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We've got like a battle to fight. And if we're not feeling our best, if we're not in good health, it's going to be hard for us to stay positive in this new world. So I think being healthy and inspiring others to be healthy is so important right now. Everybody watching this, if you are watching this because you are being called to inspire others to be healthy in the way that you are passionate about. Me and Eva are obviously passionate about eating food and being healthy with food, but there's so many other ways. Okay, your sleep, nature, spirituality, meditation, exercise. There's all types of things that go into being healthy. So let me stop talking and let me start asking Eva some questions. First of all, Eva, I love your name, Fruity Eva. What I
Thank
had a
you.
name like that. I don't know why. You know what? At the time when I made this account, I wasn't very fruity. I think that's why. I was still
Ah.
raw vegan, but I wasn't like obsessed with fruit at the time. So my is how did you learn about the fruit-based lifestyle? I want to know, yeah, tell us about like how old you were when you adopted this lifestyle and what changes you have seen.
I love that question. Thank you so much for asking. And it's a great question. So I actually was vegetarian before. Like with 12, I went vegetarian because I saw videos about factory farming and I was so sad and I was like, no, I don't want to eat it. And yeah, and I stopped eating meat basically. But in the beginning, it was hard because I'm from Germany, from the southern part of Germany, which is Bavaria, super traditional, super conservative, like meat. Basically the whole diet consists of meat and bread and that's all they eat, and dairy. So it was actually really hard, but I made it happen because I was like, whew, no, it's so terrible how animals are treated. So I went vegetarian, but I didn't know about veganism, so I was super scared about veganism. Was like, no, like vegans live in caves, and everyone, like my family was saying, okay, you're vegetarian, we accept that, but vegan, you cannot go vegan. So I was scared of it. And 3 years later, I discovered actually a vegan YouTube channel, and I got super inspired, learned about the health benefits, learned about the benefits for the environment and, of course, the animals, and that dairy is actually super cruel, and that also in the dairy production and egg production, animals have to be killed. So I went vegan, and I actually already knew about raw veganism because I watched some videos of Foodie Raw Christina. But again, there were so many limiting beliefs and so many myths about the raw vegan diet. Like it's too expensive. It's not like you cannot do it when you live in a cold climate because Germany is a cold climate. And yeah, it's just, you will be malnourished or something. So I knew about it. I liked the idea. I liked fruit and vegetable, but for me, it didn't really make sense that you could do it in real life. But then I watched, I think with when before I turned 17, I watched a video about Fully Raw Christina, and she was like working, and I saw her friend, which was like a super normal human being, like not like, of course, very pretty, but not like this Instagram personality. No, I don't know. And yeah, and then Fully Raw Christina said, "Hey, and my friend, she's also raw vegan." And for me, it completely changed everything because I was like, oh, maybe there are more people who are raw vegan. And from that moment on, I just went into research, learned more about the raw vegan diet, and tried it out. And I was pretty lucky. I think that I, from the very beginning, read the book The 8-10-10 Diet, which really helped me to understand why low fat, why a lot of fruit. And for me, it made a lot of sense. I'm also maybe a little bit lazy in the kitchen, and I don't like cleaning so much. So yeah, for me, fruit made sense. I love fruit. I feel amazing on fruit. And I would recommend for everyone who's maybe interested, just try it out for 2 days because I can remember, and it's over 4.5 years now. But for an over 4.5 years now, I remember what the moment that I tried it for the first time, and I just felt like super, super human. Like I felt so good, like I was flying. And I would just recommend for anyone who's interested to try it out. It's super life changing, and I still believe it's the best decision that I've made so far. To yeah, just try it out and to stick with it.
Yeah, wow. A lot to unpack there because I have other questions. First of all, I love your story because you talk about, Fully Raw Christina. And some of these YouTubers, it can seem like they're not like relatable. And so you saw her friend and you were like, oh, she's like a normal person. She's not like a
Yeah.
YouTuber. And she's not like, this is not, she's just a regular person. This is not her career. She's like doing this. And so it's so important, like everyone out there that hears this, like know that you can inspire someone no matter what is going on in your life, no matter what phase of your journey you're on. Like, see, Eva was inspired by Fully Raw Christina's friend, you know? Like, obviously, Fully Raw Christina is super inspiring, right? And was that the YouTube channel that you discovered? You said you discovered a YouTuber that was raw, or
Good question. I think right in the beginning, the first was Fully Raw Christina, and then of course Lissa from Raw Food Romance. I discovered Ted Carr, and I discovered also one girl which is called uh, Tamara, maybe, from 40 Below 30, and she was eating like raw vegan, and she's from Canada, and she made it work somehow. And this gave me a lot of hope because summertime is easy, but when it's wintertime, it can be a little bit more tricky. So yeah, these were the first ones, and then like I discovered more, and yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Listen, 40 Below Fruity. I remember years ago. What happened? Still doing YouTube? I don't.
She actually she moved to Sweden, and it's also super cold there. So she recently made a video saying that she's not raw vegan anymore, but she still loves, like, she will be forever vegan and she loves it, but she's not raw anymore because it's just too difficult in Sweden. And yeah, now she makes, like, I think a new YouTube channel with like videos about different forms of living, no, slow living, like living in a cabin, not having, like, away from the city and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta check her out because I loved her personality. I just love how
Yeah.
she was. And okay, Elisa asked a question on the question section. Okay, tell me your question because I don't see it here, and maybe you asked it in my story. I'm so sorry, I didn't see it yet. So let me know your question here, and we'll definitely answer it. Megan Elizabeth and Joey B. Yes, I do know what happened. Yeah. Unfortunately, listen, we'll talk about that another day, I guess, but they're no longer vegan or raw. And what happened with them really specifically, and everyone that I believe goes back to eating animals, is that they are surrounded by meat eaters. That's just my opinion,
Yeah.
right? And it just happened. Like if you marry someone or you're best friends with someone or you have a community of people that are not vegan, eventually you will go back to eating. If you're not super strong, if you're
Yeah.
not very independent, eventually you get affected because you become the sum of the top 5 people you hang around. So listen, I do know many, many vegans that are married to non-vegans, but their husbands or wives eat mostly vegan, you know?
Yeah. Exactly.
So they've become more vegan than non. But if you're hanging around people that believe that eating a vegan diet is not healthy, eventually you will get affected by that. And I believe that's what happened there in Hawaii. I have a friend that says Hawaii is the place that vegans go to die, like, or to eat meat, I have a friend that so many vegans that went to Hawaii are now eating meat. That's another topic that we'll get into another day. It's very unfortunate because I was a big fan of Megan Elizabeth. I met her a few times. I loved her channel. She deleted it now, Easy to Be Raw. She had such great recipes. She was a genius in the kitchen. And so, okay, let's get back to the questions for Fruity Eva. Now, I want to talk about the mucusless diet. When is the first time you heard about this this diet, this lifestyle?
I think that's a great question. I think about around 1 year into the journey of being mostly raw vegan, because Arnold Ehret is originally from Germany. So I don't know why, but like he's a little bit more famous in Germany. And so there's a great German YouTube channel who talks very specifically about this philosophy about the mucusless diet healing system. So I could learn a lot from that YouTube channel. And yeah, so I think with 18, and it helped me a lot because I had quite rough detox because I never really did a transition. Of course, I was vegan before, but I was vegan and then I went straight into like only fruits and some vegetables, not really nuts and seeds. So I had really harsh detox, lost a lot of mucus, and the mucusless diet healing system helped me basically to understand, okay, what is happening right now? Why is this happening? It's okay that this is happening, or that I have headaches or with mucus, and yeah, it explained a lot for me. And also, okay, I personally don't do fasting because I like to eat food, but it's just so interesting also to learn about fasting or to learn about different ways to heal people or how people can heal, and also the connection between food and disease it's just something that I'm so interested in and passionate about, because it's not being taught in school. In school, you have like, if you're sick, you go to a doctor. That's the, like, I don't know how it is in the USA or in different countries, but in Germany, it's there's only this option, and you don't really talk about different ways of healing. And in Germany, especially, like the government or schools or whatever, they don't, they just say get a get I don't know how to say it, but get medication. There's no other way, and if you try other ways of healing, it will not work, or it's just a waste of time or something. And I think this is so sad. I think there, like, actually before the Western medicine, there have been so many different ways of healing, and I think even though it maybe does not work for you, it did work for so many people. So I think it's just important to bring it back into the conversation about healing, that fasting can definitely contribute a lot to healing. And yeah, it can actually be, in my opinion, better than, for example, taking different medication cocktails or something that you don't have any idea what is in it. So I think it's just important to talk about different ways of healing, and this book is, I believe, a super great introduction into that topic.
Yeah, I completely agree, Eva. As far as healing goes, you know, Arnold Ehret, he talks about like fasting being the fastest way to heal, and that is why it's called fasting. Now, you know, fasting has been misconstrued in a way where some people want to fast to lose weight or to, you know, whatever, right? To cleanse. But I really, and let me know what you think, but I truly only believe we should be fasting if we are sick. You know, do you agree?
Exactly, I agree. I agree definitely. Especially, like, unfortunately, in the raw food community, there are some people who overdo it, in my opinion, and then they fast too much, and then they go back to eating like fast food, etc. So I agree definitely, but I think maybe in some conditions it could be helpful if you struggle with anything. But for me, I think if you transition to a raw vegan diet with lots of fruit and vegetables, your body will naturally detox. And yeah, so for me, I did one time, I did a fast, and it was really horrible actually. It was 4 days of fasting. And I actually, like, I planned it before, like, okay, my mom and dad, they will not be at home, so I can do it perfectly planned. However, on the third, or in the end of the third day, my parents came back. And for me, this fasting experience was so terrible because I don't know what happened, but my blood sugar dropped, and I was like really skinny, and I was like white, and I could not really walk. So it was really bad. And so my parents came home, and they were like, "What is happening?" Like, and we had this really bad talk that I should, I don't know, go to the hospital or something. So it was not the best experience. And from that moment on, I just think for me that just if you eat more fruit and vegetables, and you focus on really making your raw vegan diet work, low fat raw vegan diet based on fruit, that's the best you can do. You don't have to necessarily fast.
I agree. I think the best cleanse is a healthy vegan diet. And when we get too extreme on either side, we can have health issues. You know, we all know people that eat really unhealthy, lots of fast food, and they have lots of health issues. And we know people that are obsessed with cleansing, juice cleansing and water fasting, and they have health issues. We don't want to be too extreme. And I love the Mucusless diet healing system because it is not an extreme diet, okay? It is something where he breaks down what foods create mucus in the body and what foods don't, and we should be eating an abundance of the foods that don't. And yes, you know, you can be a raw foodist, you can be a raw vegan and not be healthy. I was raw vegan and I was not healthy. I was not exercising. I was not sleeping. I was not drinking enough water. I was not eating enough fresh fruit and vegetables. I was eating a lot of dehydrated foods, dates, cacao smoothies, cashew butter, dipping chocolate into cashew butter and eating that and thinking I was a healthy person. And so my next question to you, Eva, is have you ever been a unhealthy raw vegan? Have you ever, besides the fasting part where, you know, you realize, what, maybe this is not the healthiest thing for me to be doing to get to my optimal health. Have you ever felt like you were an unhealthy raw vegan?
That's a very good question because for me, I never actually went into high fat because in Germany where I was living, we don't really have raw food restaurants, so I
Like
never went there. So I never did that. And also like because I knew from the beginning that fat is not the best and it made sense for me, so I never went really um I don't know. Like I was always fruit based for sure. And in the first 4 years I didn't have a dehydrator, didn't have a yeah, any like a dehydrator I didn't have, so it was okay. But yeah, I don't know.
that's
That's a good
That's
question.
a blessing, Eva. Okay, listen, before I forget, we got a question and I promised to answer it. I'm so sorry, Alicia. Okay, so she has been on a high carb, low fat, cooked vegan diet for 7 years now. Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations. She wants to go fully raw, but she's naturally skinny now and underweight. How do I gain weight on a raw vegan diet? Eva, what would you say for that? What advice would you give?
I love that. So I would say like you have to invest more time eating because when you eat raw food, I mean, if I compare the time that I eat to the time back then when like because when you are vegan, you just eat a bread and then you're good for 3 hours. But when you go raw vegan, you just eat fruit and then you maybe after 2 hours or 1 hour you want some more fruit and it's okay. So definitely plan more time to eat fruit and yeah, and then I can recommend food that really fills you up is bananas. And you can also put dates in a smoothie because then you can put maybe bananas and dates in a smoothie, and that's really filling. And for me, what helps me to be carved up or something is to have at least one banana meal per day. And that's because, yeah, bananas are super cheap here, so and also in Germany, so it just helps me to keep the cost relatively low to have one big banana meal, let it be a smoothie or let it be a like fruit salad with banana and different fruit, and to have that. And in the evening you can still have maybe I love actually if you want to stay low fat for vegan, then I would recommend to do salad dressings and make them with a lot of dates. For example, one amazing sauce that I have is if you blend dates with sun-dried tomatoes or dried tomatoes, tomato. If you want, and to make it more creamy, you can add any nuts or seeds, but you don't have to, and some lemon and spices, and it's amazing. And it has so many calories in it because of the dates, but you don't taste the dates. It's just sweet and sour, and it's the perfect sauce. So I can recommend that.
I'm gonna make that very soon. Oh my gosh. It sounds so good. And I'm always looking for like new low fat dressings. I would say the exact same thing. I can't say it any better than what Eva just said. That would be the key is to eat high calorically dense fruits like bananas and dates. I just made a new fruit. Dates and bananas is bananas. Um, Bananas and dates. Persimmons are in season right now. They have some calories in there. Mangoes when you can get them. Like try to get some dense fruit into your diet. And don't focus on what you can't eat. Focus on what you can eat and make sure to eat enough. Like Eva just said, everything that you need to know, and she's got a lot more recipes in her book. So check out her book, link in her bio or my bio. We're part of a new foodie bundle. It's called the Vegan Foodie Bundle, which has a bunch of cooked and raw food recipe books, as well as a fitness course. We've got a yoga book in there. We've got a book on self-love. There's a lot of different books in there, and they're on sale only until Monday, so check that out. And then somebody asked, somebody said nice cream. Yeah, so my banana meal every single day is nice cream. My favorite, okay, so
Yeah.
if you're having issues with weight, which I personally have never had issues with, okay, I've had issues where I right? Like I've never been, when I was a kid, I was skinny, right? I was too skinny. But now as a raw foodist, I've always eaten a high fat, raw vegan diet. Like that was my first 7 years. So I always was like trying to lose weight. And now I find myself like it's a struggle sometimes for me to keep it no fat or low fat because I'm so used to having, the nut butters and the cashews and so here's the thing. I would put in hemp seeds into your smoothies or your ice cream because it's going to add some healthy fat and it will maybe help you gain weight as well. Make sure get in those bananas and dates. And we don't want to have too much fat, but I find that hemp seeds is probably like the one of the healthier fats out there. Don't be afraid of eating a few avocados a week. I know you want to keep it low fat, but if you want to gain weight, this is a great way. Avocados are high in calories and still pretty healthy, right? Some people are eating McDonald's, so let's not be too obsessed with the low fat thing. But gaining weight, it can be hard. It can be hard on a low fat or no fat raw vegan diet. So maybe add in some healthy fat. Okay, is kimchi considered raw vegan? It doesn't say on the jar. Eva, would you consider do you eat kimchi?
Good question. Actually, I think I tried it, but I don't make it at home, and I have not because to be honest, the Canary Islands there's no health food store, so they don't really have that. And if I would buy it in a normal supermarket, it will be full of salt and full of like additives. So no, but I think you can make it at home and you can ferment it. So I think you can make it raw, no? But I'm no expert in it.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I guess it's considered, in my opinion, I thought it was always raw. I thought, the word raw is so like open to, opinion because
Yeah.
the word raw is not really, it's not regulated, certainly not by the FDA. Anything can be considered raw or not raw. They write on the cashews, raw cashews, but there's no such thing as a raw cashew. Raw cashews are poisonous. We cannot consume raw cashews. So, the raw cashew butter is not raw. And so what I would say is if you feel good when you eat kimchi, then continue eating kimchi. That's what I would recommend. I personally eat it once in a while. I'm not like a big kimchi person. I don't like the way it smells personally. But if you feel good and you want to eat it, and because there's lots of benefits to it, then eat it. Listen, it's vegan, it's healthy. Just focus on being a healthy vegan instead of a raw foodist, I would say. And that's why the Mucusless diet is so great because it kind of like helped me stop being a perfectionist. I was the same way. I was like, is sauerkraut raw or is kimchi raw or is this raw? It had to be raw. But turns out a lot of the raw things I was eating was not healthy. Raw Snickers bars every day, they were not healthy. And by the way, Eva, did you know that there's a question section? I never knew this. I just discovered this just now. If you press, do you see the question mark on the bottom?
Yes. Oh no. Hey, but this is new, no? It's like it's the first time that
I
I see it, to be
know
honest.
late to everything always, but okay, we have another question and I'm going to read it from Nandi. Thank you for your patience. I'm so sorry about this. So, fully raw vegan. I give in to healthy cooked food veggies when hungry or when I'm tempted. How do I get over this? Great question. Eva, what advice would you give to somebody who keeps getting tempted by healthy cooked food? She eats like veggies and stuff and she doesn't want to anymore.
I love that question because for me it's the same. Like for me, what triggers me is not really fast food or meat because I'm like, for me that's not food anymore. So that's easy to not eat basically or say no to. But what's hard for me still is like things like cooked vegetables or things like cooked um I don't know. Okay, potatoes I don't really eat, but cooked vegetable, it's still hard for me. And what helps me is to first of all, um two things. Like first of all, you don't what I do if you don't want to eat it is to say because actually when you heat food you change the molecular structure. So if you really want to stay raw, then just push through it and say no, today I want to stay raw, and then with time it gets easier. But on the other hand, what I really want to say also is because Jeanette, you said before this perfectionist mindset. Actually, I think of course, if you want to not eat cooked vegetables, you will realize that after some time it will not taste as good and you will naturally not crave it so much. So, for example, cooked vegetables I don't really crave. But if it happens that you eat it, don't be so angry to yourself or something because as I said before, like you have to have the big picture. If you yeah, if it happens that you eat some cooked vegetables or something, it's really no big deal because over time you will crave them less. You will maybe eat more fruit, then you will naturally crave them less, or make learn how to make delicious salads. You will crave them less, but it's no because I would back then, unfortunately, some years ago or some month ago, I don't know, I was like really beating myself up about eating cooked vegetables or something. And yeah, it's not the end of the world, and you don't have to be 100% raw like forever always, because I think for me that's like being high raw vegan or fruit based is my life. I want to do it my whole life, and I change the way that I live my life changes. Maybe I go to different countries, so I always want to do my best. And yeah, it helped me really to integrate it more into my life and not obsess about it too much. So
Mm.
I hope it, I don't know if it made sense.
Yeah, it does. Great advice. Okay, I would ask you, the person that asked this question, I would say, do you not want to eat cooked veggies because they don't make you feel good, or because you just want to stay raw? Because okay, let's go with if she says they don't make her feel good, like the next day she doesn't feel good. Okay, so you want to stay raw because you want to feel good and you don't want to eat cooked veggies. So then I would recommend one, it's probably because you're bored with your raw food, right? Oh, I'm so happy you're still here. Okay, so she's still here. So one, maybe you're bored with your raw food, so you've got to get more recipes. There's a million free recipes on YouTube. You can buy the bundle that we're in, or you don't have to. You can go to Google. You can go. There's so many. I have a free recipe book. Eva will probably send you some recipes. She has so many on her page. You've got to find more recipes that make you don't feel like you're missing out or you're bored, right, on the raw vegan diet, because I've been there before where I'm eating the same thing every day. And like, yeah,
Mm.
of course, cooked veggies are going to look appealing because it's something new. We need variety. We need variety. That's why I love to be part of these bundles, like and I'm sure you do too as well, because it helps. It's something that I wish that I had years ago. I need a variety of recipes in my roster, in my rotation, so that I don't get bored and I don't crave things that I don't want to eat. The other thing I would say is if you if you want, get a dehydrator. If you really want to stay raw and it's really important to you and you don't feel good when you eat cooked veggies, get a dehydrator and make some of these, low fat gourmet recipes from, Raw Food Romance or Eva. Do you have any? I don't think you have any dehydrated recipes, right? No,
Nope.
your book, because I don't personally use my dehydrator. It doesn't make me feel good when I eat dehydrated food. It doesn't make me feel great either when I eat cooked food. So, like, I understand the question very well, but I think that it's something that we have to just come to terms with. Like, I don't feel that cooked food, like veggies, are super unhealthy, right? They don't make me feel my best, but like, they make me feel better than some raw food. Eating raw vegan gourmet food every night, I would be sick. I feel so thirsty. I hate waking up feeling thirsty. I hate feeling tired. I hate feeling low, in a low mood. So that's why I stay on a fruit-based diet. And, listen, if you're going to give me a choice, though, between some cooked veggies, no salt added, no oil, or a raw vegan gourmet pizza with salt and oil and nuts and cashews and things like that, I'm going to choose the cooked veggies. Okay, every time. Now, if you want to stay raw, you got to keep an abundance of fresh fruit in your house and veggies. The frozen fruit and veggies help as well in emergency times. And don't buy the veggies that you don't want to eat, right? Like, you don't want to cook, if you don't want to have cooked veggies, don't buy them. Don't keep that stuff in your house. But also, definitely, I would get the book. I would get the Mucusless Healing System and not demonize cooked food anymore, because there is some cooked food that is healthier than raw. And what you want to do is be healthy. You don't need to be focused on being raw or being like your favorite YouTuber or eating any way that doesn't make you feel the best. Okay, so that's my short answer. I have a lot of videos on this as well, so if you want to check out my YouTube. When I did fully raw days, I have a food processor and blender. I had smoothies, mango salads, big ones with low-fat sauces. Dehydrator has to save money. Yeah, yeah. Okay. You don't need a dehydrator to be raw.
No.
Eva, do you have a dehydrator?
Actually, the funny thing is, I have one, but it's in Germany. So Because I was on the Canary Islands for 10 months. Then I went back to Germany for 2 months. I bought a dehydrator because I wanted to try every different recipe. But the thing is, in Germany, there is not so amazing fruit quality. So if
Mm.
I could choose between a dehydrator and not so good fruit quality and the Canary Islands, where the fruit quality is just so much better, but I just have a blender, I just choose the Canary Islands with better fruit and I can definitely because my my blender actually broke. I think 1 month ago, and you can still make it work. You just need a knife, and okay, it's maybe not the most amazing thing, but you can still make it work. Just eat more fresh fruit, and it's possible. So I can say I did it so many times. You don't need any tools or something to make it work.
Yeah, and this is just a mindset, you know, like Eva has a positive mindset. Her blender broke and she's like, all right, I'm not going to go back to eating crap. I'm just going to make it work. And you know, as soon as you said that, Eva, I was like, oh my God, I could never live without my blender. But then
Yeah, it's
I
not.
traveled before, and when I travel, I don't bring a blender. In fact, I tried, and now I know you cannot bring a blender on a plane. They took it away. They threw out my blender. I didn't know. Yeah,
Whoa.
because the blades. So they actually at the airport long time ago, they took out the blade, threw it away, and gave me my blender. And I was like, could you just throw away the blender because now it's useless to me. I don't have a blade. You know, like it was unbelievable. So yes, I have traveled without a blender, and you make it work. And listen, it's a mindset. Do you want to be healthy or not? Do you want to, you know, like fix the issues that you might have, health issues that you might have or not? What is your priority? You know, is your priority focused on being a victim or being a victor? That's what it really breaks down to. Okay. So great questions. Thank you guys so much. Oh, we have another one. Listen, do you see the one in the question thing?
Uh,
I just see that.
wait, which one?
There's like a red one now where the question mark is, but I don't know. Maybe I can just see that. Oh,
No.
okay. So I have another question here. Oh, uh, are steamed veggies bad? Okay, thank you. Wow, I never knew about this feature. It's so cool. Okay, steamed veggies bad? I think that was probably an older question. I'm not sure. But no, steamed veggies are actually recommended. Sorry, there's construction. I don't know if you guys can hear that. They're recommended in the Mucusless diet. Steamed veggies are recommended as a transition food or as a staple. Much better. I would recommend steamed veggies much better than, honestly, avocado. Okay? When I eat and I don't know what you would say, Eva, but like when I eat steamed veggies, I'm not talking about potatoes. Potatoes are very like addicting to me. I can't
I,
eat.
for me too. For me too.
But like steamed carrots, steamed peas, what else would I eat? Carrots, peas, like greens. Um, I can't think of any other veggies personally at the moment that I would eat. Oh, tomatoes. These things, like these are like healthy. This is not healthy. I would say, you know, some raw food is not healthy over that. Avocados, they make me feel like crap the next day, and I feel the mucus forming. I break out easily when I eat avocado. So, would you say steamed veggies are healthy?
I agree. Like, I also think you always have to put things into perspective, maybe, because if you go raw vegan or if you go fruit based, you're already doing so much like so healthy. So, because for me in the beginning, I wanted to be 100% raw all the time, and it was hard, like when you travel or something. And once you really put away this perfectionist mindset, and you say, okay, I want to do it my whole life. How can I make it happen? It's okay if you eat cooked veggies. Like it's not the end of the world. So I think okay, maybe fresh fruit is the best. Fresh fruit, fresh vegetable is the best. But if you, for example, I don't know, you have your work, and then you go with your work to I don't know, like 2 days with your work because you have to go there and they just have cooked vegetables. It's not the end of the world. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sorry about the construction if you guys can hear that. But listen, the end of the world to me is for you to go back to eating crap. Processed food, animal products, junk food, fast food. That to me is the end of the world. So to prevent that, to prevent the end of the world, steamed veggies are a great option. Like if I go to somebody's house and they make steamed veggies, I'm going to be like, is there any oil or salt in there? If they say no, I will have some. Why not? They made it for me. I will have some. I have my boundaries and my standards, right? I'm not going to ever eat oil or salt. It just doesn't make me feel good. And I just wanted to read a quote real quick from Arnold Ehret's book, because this is a great quote that Eva was talking about, giving up the perfection mindset. Arnold Ehret says that he differs from the raw food fanatics. So yes, you can be a fanatic with anything, right? And you don't want to be like fanatic, you want to be healthy. He says, because the food value is not important in a diet of healing. It is more important that the patient should and shall enjoy his or her diet during the transition until their taste and conditions have improved. So in this regard, if you're finding it difficult to eat 100% raw food diet, if it's difficult for you, have some healthy cooked food, some veggies, some cooked fruit. I used to love to put apples in the oven with some cinnamon and some raisins and dates and maple syrup. Amazing, amazing. Like, listen, if you're feeling deprived, eat some healthy cooked veggies. Why not? What is the problem? Don't add any oil or salt. Add spices instead. And I think Eva would agree as well. It's important that you enjoy your diet, especially when you're transitioning, especially if you're not craving, if you're not a big fruit person, okay? Like I know some people, they could never eat a fruit-based diet, but they can eat a vegetable-based diet, right? With some savory fruits like tomatoes and cucumbers and zucchini and things like that, more based with that. So, okay. Eva, last question. I don't want to hold you up. I'm sorry. I know you have dance and I don't want
No,
to.
no, it's okay. I have it later. Like I have time.
Okay, so someone says I avoid, wait, Alicia. Am I saying it right, Alicia? I avoid junk food, soda, coffee, chocolate, oil. Yes, 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 yes. Please, you want to avoid these things. Let's not demonize veggies. Cooked, steamed, or baked veggies, so much better than coffee, chocolate, salt, and oil. These things are poison to the human body. You're not going to feel good. You're going to have health issues if you eat those things. No animal products, including palm oil, RIP orangutans. Yes, yes. Any type of oil is a processed food. We don't want to eat processed foods. What is the name of the book? Okay, so there's two books. One is the original. It's called The Mucusless Diet Healing System by Arnold Ehret. This one is great. This one was written in 1910, I believe. It's a classic that nobody really knows about because it's like, well, a lot of truths in our society are hidden, you know? And Arnold Ehret was actually killed, okay? I don't know if you're aware of that, Eva. Yeah, you're aware of that. He was killed in his prime when he was giving talks around the world about how dangerous eating animal products were, okay? You know, so he was getting very popular. And then there's another book, which is the same book, but it's annotated. So it's called The Mucusless Diet Healing System, annotated by Professor Spira. It's more translated into modern day English. And I know this book has been translated into many languages as well. It's in Spanish and Israeli and maybe German, you know, so many different, you can check it out all over the world, wherever you are, whatever your favorite language is. And now I would just like to ask Eva really quickly, I want to know, what are some health foods that you once thought were healthy that you no longer consume?
Everything I would say. When I was eating when I went vegetarian, I was so afraid of veganism, so I ate so much dairy and I ate like milk. I drank every day almost 1 liter of milk. Like I blended it with bananas every day. So of course now I know this is so bad for you. I also believe, and I think this is something that is maybe triggering to some people, but whole wheat bread. Like in Germany, we have bread with a lot of seeds and nuts. But what actually happens if when you make this bread, that because when you heat food and you bake the bread for 40 minutes, the molecular structure changes a lot. And so a lot of the fats become into trans fats, I believe. So it's actually not that healthy. So bread is really not that healthy. Pasta also is really not that healthy because when you heat the food, you can imagine like when you put pasta into and you cook it and you forget it, it becomes this mush. And this mush actually works the same in your body. Like when your body digests the pasta or bread, it develops this mush and it can mess up really your colon. So yeah, I would say almost everything. Dairy is not healthy, meat is not healthy, um, bread and pasta is not healthy, and also, of course, if you overdo it on nut butters, and what I also believe, for example, like I don't know how to say in English, but the syrup of, like when you, for example, maple syrup, extracted syrup is not health food because it has no vitamins in it. It is heated, so everything is basically, yeah, it's not a whole food. So I would say all of that is actually not that healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that this is a great topic. I would love to go live with you more to talk about this. You're very knowledgeable. And yeah, maple syrup. Listen, I have maple syrup in my house. Am I going to consider it a health food? No. There are, there's some treats, that you like.
I agree.
I don't really believe that's a health food. Do you eat nutritional yeast or do you believe in it?
I did. I think it's not that healthy, but I mean, how much do you put in your food? Not that much. But the thing is, because I travel, I cannot really take it with me, so I haven't eaten it in some years. But it's not the end of the world, I think. If it makes your food taste like cheese and you really miss cheese, go for it, I would say.
Yeah, so I went through that. I went through the whole phase of being, raw foodist, unhealthy, and then trying to learn what was perfect, being on the perfect raw food diet. And then I found out that it wasn't the perfect raw food diet. And so instead of giving up, I decided, you know what, I'm not going to be so consumed with being perfect anymore. So now, once in a while, if I want nutritional yeast, I will have nutritional yeast. If I want maple syrup once in a while, I'll have that. If I want some cacao once in a while, I'll have that. But I will not have this every day because I know it's not healthy. But we don't want to strive for perfection. We want to strive for progress. Wherever you're at, you just want to be progressively better every day and have those treats. Okay, we have another question. That is a great question. She doesn't like veggies without salt. Okay, so I think that's
Yeah.
issue was she like eats cooked veggies but they have salt in them, so of course you don't feel good when you eat salt. Salt is very dehydrating. It's not a health food at all. There are some things that I will never have again, which is like salt, oil, animal products, gluten, things like that. What I would recommend to you is you've got to get your salt from other places. Okay, I would recommend you start making celery juice every day. Or if you don't have a juicer, start eating celery, eating more greens, more salty vegetables. Okay. Also, seaweed is great to satisfy your salty cravings. Somebody the other day told me, I screenshot it. DM me, whoever asked that question, and I'll send you. Somebody recommended there was some salt that is made from asparagus. Okay,
Cool. I didn't know.
and like it's asparagus salt or something like this, right? And it's raw vegan and it's like a healthy alternative to salt. Find alternatives, but really celery juice seems to help me a lot if I'm craving salt, or just eat celery. Would you agree, Eva? Yep.
I agree so much, definitely. And something that I do is, for example, dry tomatoes, and I have the store in the Canary Islands where I can buy them, and there's a little bit of salt in them, but before I use them, I just wash them with water, so to put off the salt. And it's not, I think it's not the best solution because there's still some salt left. But if you don't avoid salt 100%, then it could be an option to use maybe sun-dried tomatoes, or if you have a dehydrator, I would definitely recommend, because I did it also, to dehydrate your own tomatoes, because you don't need to use any salt and it becomes really, really salty. It's really, and it gives the tomato a whole different flavor. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I that's what I do because I simply cannot find sun-dried tomatoes without oil and salt.
Mm.
So that's why I have a dehydrator, honestly, for the sun-dried tomatoes. And I make my own. You can make your own like dried fruit as well if you'd like to do that for a treat. Last question for Eva. So somebody said, my parents don't understand raw foods. Cooked food is fine, but they don't understand her being raw vegan. And her parents are not vegan. And I always I want to be fully raw, but they're just not understanding. So now, I would say to that, they're not going to understand until you've been doing it for a very long time and they see the results in your health, in your life. And when they have health issues, then they will come to you and listen. I've been raw vegan for over 10 years. My mom, for the first 8 years, right, or more, 9 years maybe, she called me fanatic. I was crazy. I was like weird. I was gonna die. All this stuff, and now once now she, anytime she has a health issue, she comes to me and asks, so what would you do? What fruit or vegetable helps with this? I tell her and she eats it, and now she really
Mhm.
takes my advice because I have proven with time, that I'm healthy, I'm happy, this diet is not going to kill me, I don't have a protein deficiency, I'm not, I'm not looking unhealthy. So that there's nothing you can do. People are not going to take your advice or understand until you've been doing it for a long time. That's just is what it is. And also I would recommend that you understand that your family and friends will not support you until strangers celebrate you. And what I mean by
I
that,
love it. Yes.
I heard that and I was like, oh, that makes sense. What I mean by that is maybe you want to start a YouTube channel. Maybe you want to start an Instagram channel and inspire the world. And then once the world is celebrating you, your family and friends are going to be like, wow, oh my God, you're amazing. Wow, what do you eat again? I want to be like you. I want to look like you. So Eva, what would you say to people that are like feeling like they're not getting support from their friends or family, or their parents are like, same with your parents, they were concerned with you eating, raw vegan?
Yeah, for sure. So, first, everything that you said makes complete sense to me, and I agree so much. And for me, there are a lot of things. First of all, if you really want something, you have to make it work and you have to make it happen, no matter if people agree or not. That's something that I've learned because if I would have done everything that my parents said, probably I would be very unhappy because they just have certain plans for you, or they think, okay, this should be the reality for my child, but you have your own character, you have your own information, so you have to do what is best for you, and that's the only way you can be happy and you can, in my case, be healthy because my parents still believe that meat is healthy or something. So do what you need to do basically. Second thing is yeah, just come from a perspective of love because I actually in the beginning was a little bit rough with my parents because I was like, I will do it and I will do my things. For me, going vegan was my rebellious phase because I started when I was 15 and I was like, no, I make my own food. But I would recommend now to come from a place of love and say, be more understanding, communicate more, say, yes, this is really important to me. I've done a lot of research. Here's the research. Here are people who are already doing it. And to understand that if your parents criticize you, it often comes from a place of love or from a place of scare, like them being sick, scared, because there's so many myths about the raw vegan diet. And so they think that, for example, if you go raw vegan or fruit-based, that you will end up malnourished and you just have to be nice to them, communicate to them, hey, this is not happening because of this and this and this. Because in life, what I'm now learning more and more, also with my boyfriend, there will always be conflicts. Always, 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 always. You have a different opinion. And it's not really about conflict, it's more about how you communicate with them. If you come from a place of love or if you come from a place of rebellion or you want to win. Yeah, just understand that your parents, they hopefully love you and want the best for you. And yeah, but still do your own thing.
Wow, great advice, dude. And what you said is so true. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's not what you say, guys, it's how you.
Yeah.
Communication is something that they do not teach us in school. And we need to take our lives into our own hands, take responsibility for our communication skills, read books on communication, go to YouTube and learn how to communicate better. Because what you just said, if I would have taken your advice 10, 20 years ago, I would have had such better relationships in my life. I didn't know how to communicate, especially to my family who was criticizing me for eating fruit at, Thanksgiving or at like family events and saying that, like, this is not healthy. This can't be healthy. It's too much sugar, still to this day, To this day, people still tell me I'm eating too much sugar. I mean, listen, I would have diabetes by now. It's been over 10 years of eating too much sugar,
Me too.
you
Me
know?
too.
And the other
Me
thing
too.
I'm going to say for that advice that I just remembered is that, listen, Eva's advice is the best. Do it with love, okay? Also, just know you shouldn't really be taking advice from anybody you don't want to trade places with, okay? Now, I'm thinking since your parents are not vegan, I'm guessing they might have some health issues. Okay. After a certain age, you are going to have health issues if you are not following a plant-based diet. That's just a fact. Find me, it's very rare to find someone in their 40s, 50s, 60s that does not have medical issues from eating animal body parts. We're just not meant to eat those body parts. And by the way, somebody asked Latasha, hi ladies, how can I start my vegan journey? Okay, listen, this is going to be so exciting and amazing for you because you have no idea how amazing you're going to feel. First of all, I'm sure Eva would also agree with me. You're going to want to watch a few documentaries. Okay, go to Netflix and watch Game Changers. I would really recommend Earthlings. It's going to shake you to your core. Okay, there's another one called Eva. Which one would you recommend if you could only choose one?
If I only could choose one, good question. I think Earthlings is a great. A new one is Dominion, which is great.
Dominion. Yeah. Dominion.
There are more. There's one that I watched with my boyfriend was Cowspiracy. There's Forks Over Knives. And there's also one really, really nice movie. It's one from South Korea and it's called Okja. And I love this movie so much because it's amazing. It indirectly criticizes factory farming and capitalism. It's amazing. It's from the same filmmaker who also created Parasite. Maybe you watched it. It's also really criticizing capitalism, but it's amazing. So Okja. Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
people
recommend it.
recommended What the Health, Cowspiracy. So watch like maybe 2 or 3 of those. Okay, really, definitely watch Dominion or Earthlings because this is what you need to know the truth. Okay, and if you don't know the truth yet, you're in for a shock on where your food is coming from. Now, after you watch those documentaries, then you want to get some type of recipe book, to help you get healthy vegan recipes. Because if you go vegan and you fall into the unhealthy junk food vegan trap, it's going to be very hard for you to get out of it. Okay. It's very addicting, all this vegan crap, this junk food, the Beyond Beef, the donuts, the cupcakes, the candies. This is very addicting. This food has been created to get you addicted to it and for profit. So I would honestly recommend check out the bundle that we are offering right now because it has so many hundreds and hundreds of healthy vegan recipes, cooked and raw. And if you're just going vegan, I would highly recommend you eat some raw food. You're right. You want to eat some fresh fruit and vegetables, but you eat some cooked food, right? You don't want to go straight raw vegan because you're going to miss too much, right? You're going to miss your pasta and your bread and things,
Yeah.
meat, dairy. And so this is a great bundle for you. It contains lots of different cooked, healthy recipes, fresh, raw food recipes. And listen, you're going to get a meal plan guide from me, which is what I eat every single day. Eva has an amazing, simple, raw vegan recipe book with how many recipes? I think like over 30.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, a
I
lot.
don't know. I think so.
Simple but delicious, easy recipes, smoothies, smoothie bowls, different like things you can do with just fruit and vegetables. It's so simple and easy. And yeah, that's what I recommend. You got to make the connection with the animals first and then think about your health because you're never going to be able to do it just for you, right? Everything we do in our lives, it's hard for us to just do it just as a selfish thing. I want to get healthier. But when you realize that you are supporting every single time you buy a dead animal body part or the secretion from an animal, you are supporting animal cruelty. And I know that you do not want that. None of us on earth, none of us want to support animal cruelty. We'll be in touch, Ms.fitvegan. Yes, DM me. We need a celebration bell for these people who want to learn about a cruelty-free. Yes, Sherry, we need one of those bells. When somebody says they want to go vegan, It's like so amazing because it makes me like, it makes me so happy to know that one less animal is going to be tortured and hurt. You know, the less we buy, the less they'll produce. The less animals will have to be produced. One day, Eva, do you think one day the whole world will be vegan, or you think that's crazy? Like, you think that's too much?
I think yes. I think yes. Like 100%, because if we continue the way that we do, I mean, the world will be the world will be going down. So I think yes, but unfortunately, I think that in the next maybe 100 years, all of the maybe developing countries will first go into eating meat, and then the developing countries, maybe I could be wrong, go more into direction veganism, and then after that, again, developing countries go also vegan. So I believe yes, but maybe 200 years, I could imagine. I hope not, but maybe.
Yeah, no, I see it. Okay, last question, I promise. I love talking to you. Okay, if you could tell everyone in the world, okay, so say that everyone in the world put on headphones and you could tell every single person in the world one thing, what would you tell them? And this is going to be translated into all languages. It's everyone from all ages, all countries. What would you say to every single person in the world?
I would for sure say go fruit-based vegan, because for me, if you look more into it and you really study everything, like connection between food and diet and veganism, how it affects your health, this is, and the environment and the animals, this is really a solution for so many big problems. And for me personally, I think that politics, they focus on different things to help people, and like, or how to help poverty or some things, and they could do so much more benefits if they would just explain more about veganism. Because if you have, yeah, if you focus more on veganism, if you would teach people how to eat healthy, this would eliminate so many big problems that we have today. So this would be the thing that I say.
Yeah, Deepak just said that if we just do what is healthy for us, it will help heal the planet as well. You know,
For sure.
it's like, it's just like love. It comes down to love is the answer. You know, it sounds corny, but like every single problem in the world with our health, with our relationships, love is the answer. Treating people with love and respect, treating the animals with love and respect, treating the planet with love and respect, treating our bodies with love and respect. This is the answer to all of our health problems and all of our world problems. Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
So much, Eva. I love talking to you. How old are you, by the way?
And 21.
Yeah, you
21.
are so young and so wise. I have a
Thank
feeling
you.
you are old soul. You know, you've been here a few times, I think, because you're just so young. And how do you know all this? I mean, certainly at 21, I did not have this outlook on life and did not have all the knowledge you have. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you. And guys, if you want to check out Eva's new book, first of all, go subscribe to Eva. That's number one. Number two, go check out the link in her bio or in my bio. It contains a bundle of a bunch of amazing 100% vegan recipe books, cooked food, raw vegan recipes, and you will not regret it. This bundle can change your life. It can be the catalyst to you finally having the health and the body and the life that you deserve, that you really, really came here to experience. We did not come here on earth to experience just survival. We came here to thrive and feel our best and look our best. And thank you so much, Eva. You're amazing. Yes, the younger generation are way smarter than us. Yes, Nicole.
I don't know about that. But also thank you so much. And I forgot to say, you look really pretty. Like, I love your outfit. Really
Thank you so
pretty.
much, Eva. But I really appreciate you. And you are a beautiful, beautiful vegan goddess yourself. And so we're just reflecting off each other. And I love it. And you really inspire me. You really inspire me to think more as to like, how can I communicate in a more loving way to people, you know, because I can be harsh sometimes and an angry vegan sometimes, and that's not going to change the world. And, you know, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Eva. Thank you guys for being here. If you want to watch this again, it'll be on my YouTube. It'll probably be on Eva's YouTube as well. And so check that out. And thank you very much. See you guys soon.
Bye bye.